Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Audrey Hope and I post acting videos. So I've been acting since I was about 12 and I'm 19 now, I'm about to turn 20, which is scary. I've been doing this thing for a while and I've learned a lot. Like, I've done some really embarrassing, terrible things, so I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. So here's some things that I wish I knew before I started acting. Because let me just tell you, this industry is nitpicky and they don't forget much. You guys hear me preach on this one a lot because it strikes a personal string for me. Number one, take acting classes. If you even have the inkling of I maybe want to start acting, get in acting classes immediately. Number one, it'll tell you if you actually like acting or not. And number two, acting classes help a lot. They make a world of difference. The longer you're in classes, the better. The difference in my career of before I took classes and after is insane. Like, my sister had not booked anything and she started classes, and in a few months she had booked like something, and then right after booked another thing. Like, it was like that happened for her, just like a snap. And the difference was her taking classes. So I preach on this because you may think like, oh, I'm great, like I already know what I'm doing, but I promise you, like, eventually if you stay in this industry long enough, you're gonna look back and hate the way a scene looked, because it's just natural. Everyone judges themselves, and you know, the more you learn, the more you look back and you're like, ooh, that was not how I should have done that, you know, which is good because it means you're improving and you're getting better. But my thing is I was getting really big opportunities and I had not taken classes yet, and I feel like I wasted it or gave myself a bad reputation because I was not ready to be auditioning for like Stranger Things and, you know, the like lead roles in these big things, because I finessed my way into an agency and I was just not ready and I was not in classes. And I look back and I regret that because I'm like, oh gosh, those casting directors are gonna remember that. And it's also sad that like if I had been in classes, my audition would have been so much stronger. And obviously it wasn't meant to be for me to book that, but if you get in classes now, I promise future you is gonna be so thankful. Also, you're gonna meet people, you're gonna make connections, and your acting coach is also like your mentor. So they're gonna help you know what agencies to get, and it's gonna save you from a lot of mistakes. There's Zoom classes you can take if you live in an area that doesn't have acting classes, but like, I promise you guys, like, please get in acting classes. Now that I'm done with my spiel, another thing is headshots are super important, and I didn't realize this, and I went on with headshots that were just mediocre for a while, and the difference I saw when I got an amazing headshot was insane. Because say you get an agent, the only thing that casting directors are seeing at first is your headshot. And if they like your headshot, then they'll look at your reel and your resume and they'll call you in for an audition. But if they don't like your headshot, they don't care how talented you are, they will not see your talent. Because they literally only look at your headshot and then decide if they want to see how good you are at acting, because they're looking for a certain look, and if you don't fit that or if your headshot doesn't stand out, you won't even get an opportunity to show how talented you are. Headshots are arguably the most important thing in the world. You know, I have a whole video on it, but headshots are very important if you want to get good opportunities. This is something new that I have discovered and I've been talking to a lot of people about, and it might be controversial, I'm not really sure. I used to think people were born with the gift or they weren't, and you either had it or you didn't, and like each person was either born with the amount of talent it took to become a star or they weren't, and there was nothing you could do about it. Most actors are born with like a natural ability to act, but at the same time, no one, I don't think, is born just like Oscar award-winning worthy. I truly do think that it's hard work and experience in acting classes, and I don't think that it has anything to do with like the amount of talent that you're born with. And this goes for like everything, because we have a really successful baseball team here, and there were all these kids on the team, and some of them went to like the major leagues, right? And if you ask the people that were watching these kids play, you were like, could you have guessed which one were going to make it to the major leagues? And they were like, no, we would have never guessed that that kid would have been the one to make it. And I asked my acting coaches the same thing with like our acting studio, because we've had many people leave our acting studio that have gone on to be Netflix stars, been in huge movies, like they've officially made it as actors. And, you know, that does not happen for every person that is in the acting industry. And a lot of people give their lives to it and they'll still never get to experience that. So I asked my acting coach, I was like, did you know that these people were gonna make it? Like, did you see them and think they are a million times better than everyone else? They have like a certain something special and they're gonna make it, and like, you know, this other person probably won't. And they were like, no. We never could have guessed like this person will make it, this person couldn't. Like, obviously they were good and they were like probably at the top of the class, but they didn't have like a special secret sauce that like no one else had. So as much as that's like, oh gosh, like that's scary, it's also like that should be comforting to you, because what really matters in my opinion is hard work. And it does matter of getting the perfect part for you with the perfect opportunity and the perfect casting director and everything just lining up for you. But it isn't like you're born missing something. Like, anyone can do it. I truly do believe that. If you are born with the desire to act and, you know, you have that natural ability to let yourself go and really act, because some people, you know, they don't want to allow themselves to look silly, which you really do have to do if you want to act. But if you're someone that's willing to do anything to make it in the acting industry, I truly believe you can do it. So all of that to say, if you do the research like you're doing watching these videos and you're in classes, you commit to doing this as a lifelong journey, you can make it in the industry. So this goes along with it is that it really takes time. You know, some people, they really do just like immediately book something or something crazy happens and they just blow up. And that does happen for some people. But for the vast majority of us, it's a lifelong struggle, and it takes a lot of time. And the people that make it that I've seen are the people who have been doing it the longest. So I've had friends that, you know, they were young when they made it, but they were also like 5 years old when they started acting. So this industry really does take time, and I know that's what no one wants to hear. And I'd hear it all the time and I'd be like, well, it's not gonna be like that for me. But like, look where I am now, you know? But it's really sticking with it and looking at it as a lifelong journey, not like, okay, in the next year I need to make it. And you know, if you do this for 50 years, odds are there's gonna be a perfect part for you at some point in those 50 years. Another really interesting one is you're gonna run into people you know. So once you get kind of like in the industry, you're going to run into people you know, probably people you don't like. That's something you need to be prepared for, because let me tell you, the industry is a lot smaller than you think. A lot smaller. I've run into a lot of people that I never thought I'd see again. You know, I've had people who, they were dating someone and their best friend had to go do a chemistry reading, kiss their girlfriend or boyfriend. Like, it's a very small industry, and like, you don't want to be talking bad about people, because I've talked bad about someone before and that person was like going on a set with them the next day. You know, in general, you shouldn't be talking bad about people. If it's something like inappropriate or someone did something really bad, then like obviously you should notify someone and say like, hey, you shouldn't work with them. But at the same time, if it's just like, you know, high school drama, you don't want to be like, oh, like I hate that person, and then give yourself a bad name in the industry. So be respectful. Mixing business with pleasure can be a very interesting thing. This one is rough. I think anyone that does anything outside of the norm knows this, but people will judge you. I live in a really small town, which is like, you know, if you're in like Hollywood and you do acting, everyone's just gonna be like, oh, she's another actress. But that's not as bad as living in a small town, in my opinion, and doing acting, because I have been like torn apart. Like, people judge me. Like, they really judge me. It doesn't bother me because I really do like love acting and I don't care what anyone has to say about it. But originally it did. I think I've just gotten used to it. But even like me doing influencing, like I had fan pages for the first time, which should be a really exciting thing, and it was really cool. You know, I did not have that many followers, so it was very interesting that I had fan pages. But like, I can honestly say I've never ever in my life made myself a fan page. I was never someone that really was like, I really hope I have fan pages one day, so I don't know like why I would have made myself one. But anyways, all the girls in my class proceeded to make themselves fan pages because everyone was convinced that I made myself fan pages. And so they all made themselves one, basically, you know, making fun of me, and they would try to like talk to like the people who ran my fan pages. I don't know. It was very much like middle school drama. But it was embarrassing, and I hate mostly when people don't know the truth. Like, if I were to make my own fan pages and people were to make fun of it, I'd be like, you know, that's valid. But when someone really doesn't know the truth, it's really frustrating when they believe something and you know it's not true. Here's the thing. When people know you, you're not special. They're never going to believe that you could make it. They're never going to believe that you have the special sauce to like become a famous actor. They never believe that you could be successful. When they know you, you're nothing special, and absolutely no one is going to believe in you until you've already made it. So you need to be the one to believe in yourself and truly, truly think that you will make it, you can make it, and you deserve to make it. My background is a quote, and let's look at my background, what do I forget? I'm deserving of everything I dream of. Those people that like blow up and make it, I feel like it's really hard to feel like you deserve it. At least it would be for me. But you need to believe, first of all, that you deserve to have your dreams come true. As long as you believe in yourself, that's all that matters. And I know that sounds so corny. You need to know that no one's gonna believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, and you can't wait for someone else to tell you you're good enough. You have to be the one to believe it. And then once you make it, they're all going to say, oh my gosh, I knew that was going to happen. I knew her. That's amazing. You know, and of course, that's like everyone's dream is like one day, like they're all going to regret everything they did. But at the same time, like you should be so proud of yourself for believing in yourself that you're going to make it. And even if one day you're not a super successful famous actor, you should be so proud of yourself for believing in yourself because that's something they never could have done. Okay, this one's a rough one, but booking big does not mean that you've made it. And this is my acting coach's favorite story. He was like, you know, I've been waiting tables in LA for 5 years and my agent calls me and is like, you booked a speaking role on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And he like put the phone down. He was like, I'm never gonna have to wait tables again. Obviously he had to wait tables again. But all that being said, just because you book big or you book your first thing, it's exciting and you should be immensely proud of yourself, but you need to also be reasonable and know that that doesn't mean that you've made it. Pretty much every actor in the world, no matter how famous you are, you don't know that most of them have side hustles. You know, the famous actors, those people, they make it because they make money off of their social media as well. Most people do not make it off of just the money they make from acting. Social media people make so much more than actors. As someone that does acting and social media, you make so much more on social media. It's insane. Because when you're a social media influencer, people are paying you to promote something versus when you're an actor, it's kind of like they're just paying you to work as an actor in this movie, unless you're someone that's already famous and you're like, you know, a face that people know that are gonna watch this movie because of you. Influencers sell the product because people like you. Actors, they don't sell the movies because you like the actor unless they're an A-lister. You're paid to do a job and deliver a believable performance, but unless you're literally the reason why people are coming to see the movie, you're not making a lot of money. And acting is a hard job, and they do pay well most of the time, but it's not like you can live off of that. 9 times out of 10, you can't. So I've known people that they book big, and you know, they have a year or two where they're living off their acting, but then they'll have a dry spell of like 5 years. The hardest thing about acting is you very rarely get to the point in your career where you have security. Like, it's exciting. The acting journey is exciting, but it's also stressful because you rarely have that security. This goes along with that as well. Acting is expensive. So my family, we grew up, you know, we didn't have a lot of extra money. So everything that I've done acting-wise, I've pretty much paid for myself. But acting is expensive. Acting classes are expensive. Headshots are expensive. Demo reels are expensive. But this all goes back to believing that you're deserving of your dreams. And I see it as an investment because I truly do believe in myself, and I believe one day it's all going to pay me back and it's all going to be worth it. So as long as you believe in yourself, see it as an investment. And even if, say, you don't pay yourself back, if you love it enough, it'll be worth it. And you want to look back and be able to say, I did absolutely everything I could to make my dreams happen. Another one is, it takes a lot of your time. And when I say it takes a lot of your time, I don't mean just like when you do an audition, it takes a lot of your time. But I mean every decision I've made from when I was 12 years old to now when I'm almost 20, every decision I've made, I factor in acting. So if it's, I'm moving, I'm going to a sleepaway camp for 2 weeks, I'm going on a vacation, I want to go study abroad, I choose based on how will this affect my acting career. And let me just tell you, I don't make my money from acting. I have not booked much at all. I really, you know, I'm not a working actor. I'm not a successful actor. I do audition, you know, I've booked things before, so I would say I'm an actor, but I wouldn't say like I'm necessarily a working actor. And I've been doing this for like 7 years. I've made every decision in my life based around acting, and I've seen not much come from it. And I'm not saying that to complain, but I'm just saying that to be aware that it takes a lot of time, but also takes a lot of your time. Like, I drive 2 hours every week to go to acting class, drop everything to film an audition, I go on trips to get headshots, you know, I film projects for free to get demo reel footage. So there's obviously some things that you have to do that aren't going to be fun, even if you love acting. But at the same time, if you love acting, it will be worth it, but just be aware that it takes a lot of your time. My last thing is, it goes along with it, but you need to have a life outside of acting. And this is hard for me because I don't have a lot that I feel like I'm good at. It's very important to have special skills when you're acting. If you can sing or play an instrument or dance, like, that's really cool because there's a lot of actors out there, but if you're an actor that also has a special skill, that sets you apart. So if you have anything else that you're good at or you like, don't just throw that away and go fully into acting. Really try to nurture any skills that you have, because having a skill as an actor is such a good attribute because that makes you a more well-rounded actor. But I hope that was helpful. And as always, like, I really do believe in every single one of you. I believe that you're watching this video for a reason. you have this dream for a reason. Like, you were given this dream for a reason, so don't give up on it, don't ignore it, and be very patient with yourself. I always say that, be patient with yourself. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I try to reply to everyone, or you can DM me on Instagram. I will see you guys next Saturday. Thank you for watching.